first off, one of the things I wanted to do was to show you how I've been activating an email list. Now, I've done this with a couple of people recently. John, I think I did it with you. It was quite successful. I did it with a couple of agents last month, and one got actually 4 listings. I said 3, but it's been working quite well. So what's going on is a very, very simple email. Now's a good time of the year because, and I don't know how much contact that you've had with your database, whether it's a lot or a little bit, but either way, I would encourage you to reach out. And this little email, I call it the 10-word email. And if you're on my mailing list, you might have seen it, and you may have even used it. I've some of the agents that we've been working with, I've been begging them to use it, nothing like for years, and then suddenly they do it and they get results. So, and it's really simply like this. The subject line is quick question, Mary or John or whatever. If you don't know their name, if your list is not that generic, just say quick question. And there's the email, right? Are you planning to buy or sell this year? In fact, what I might do is I'm going to just grab all of that and I'm going to put that straight into the chat as well. So you've got it right there. Bang. Yes, no worries, Lynn. I think should be able to join the call automatically. Yep, okay, we're all good. So this email, how it works is you send it out. If you've got 10 people or 10,000, you just send it out. And it just goes like that. Hi, first name, are you still planning to buy or sell this year, right? And you will have people on your list who are dead or their email's changed or they've left or it's bouncing or whatever. And by the way, with your email database, you should be able to go in and look at the ones where there's been, I think they call it a hard bounce or whatever, which means there's nobody there and it's not working. You want to delete those messages. On some platforms, you could be paying for it. On others, it might sit there, but it will affect your success rate. So email protocols on all the CRMs now like to see a clean database. So if you've got people, and naturally you're going to have people who've opted out, but you'll also have people where there's a hard bounce or basically the email's undeliverable. So once every couple of months, I just go in and I clean mine out. I've got new emails coming in all the time, but don't be afraid to jump in and clean it out. So you send this message out and you can have a call to action, but I just like to leave it. And it's meant to be just like a basic email. So, Brett, if I was emailing you as a friend, I'd say, "G'day, Brett, how's it going?" or "What's going on?" Something like that. If I was if you were my client, I'd just send you an email. Wouldn't be a fancy HTML. And so you just want to get it out nice and simple as you possibly can. That's the power in it, and that's how it works. So when you get a response, they'll say, "Well, yes, I am actually. I'm planning to buy." Then you've got some kind of engagement and you can open up and you can talk to them about what's going on. Or they might be selling. You might be telling them that it's a good time to sell, or how can I help you get prepared for sale, or whatever it might be. There's always some things that you can do. So that is reactivation for engagement, and that's a really popular thing that you want to be able to do. So yeah, I've put the user guide, everybody, in the chat, where there's a lot of information. Those who'd like an update with the ad machine, and I'll quickly show you that now, because I did offer to show you how one agent we're working with is got $17,000 worth of traffic, and I'll show you that right now, real quick. This is a campaign in the ad machine. Now, if you're not using the ad machine, that's okay. I just want to show you what's out there. I'm not pitching it hard. I'm just wanting to tell you. So what happens is, quite simply, the ad machine, instead of creating 1 or 2 ads, it creates dozens and dozens of different combinations of image, headline, and copy, and then it puts it out there in the marketplace. That's its power, right? So instead of creating just a couple of ads like that, and this is inside a live campaign here. So that's how that looks. Now, I don't know if I can do this results. I can show you. Okay, let me show you this in another way. I've done this here. So these are the actual results for this campaign. Now, firstly, full disclosure, not every campaign is this good. but I'll show you where a lot of the campaigns are, if they're optimized and if they're run correctly in the ad machine. And this is a campaign going live into Facebook and Instagram, right? The two meta platforms. And it was a campaign that ran for a little over a month. It's still running, I think. I think they might have converted it to a just sold, but it was at $5 a day. So 161, that's about 30 odd days or something, if my math is correct. And you can see that it's created down in the bottom left, 10,000 clicks. And that's actually converted, and that their social media clicks, and you can see how they have converted to actual website traffic. So this is the point with these campaigns. I am appalled, shocked, horrified, mortified, and disgusted by the way the big monopolies like Zillow in the States, Realtor.ca here in Canada, and REA in particular in Australia, are just continuing it looks like every 6 months, and there's about to be another huge hike in traffic. So what we're seeing is increasingly real estate agents who are turning to Meta to be able to create great demand and drive traffic to their own website. These big websites like realestate.com.au or realestate.co.nz or Trade Me in NZ, they don't want you to leave their website. That's their whole mission. They want you to stay on their website. They don't want traffic going to the agent's website because they want all the leads. They want all the traffic. They're trying to control the play. We have social media. Now we have the marriage with AI, right? And this is the difference. So this is the opportunity. I'm not saying that social media is replacing these big portals, but at least finally we've got a chance we can leverage it with a way to fight back, to do something about it and not be 100% beholden to the big websites. I was talking to an agent last week and he keeps his numbers. He's down in Inverloch in Victoria. And you might have seen that email. He got 72% of his traffic came from social media in the last year, which is great. So things are starting to happen. And I know for a fact that REA are looking to get into social and to leverage it. But take a look at this. I want to show you can see that down in the bottom right here. I'm moving my mouse around as if I can. Maybe I can I? Yeah, no, I can't. Down on the right, you can see the savings. So the point I'm trying to make here is that to get these same results, those 5,000 conversions, top right, where the arrow is pointing for website traffic, to do that, and you can see the cost per click at 1 cent compared to an average of $1.50, and the click-through rate at 27% compared to an average of 1.75. To do that, you would have had to have spent $17,000 if you were doing that normally through Meta. So that's the saving. So in this case, this agency, and again, like I said, this isn't typical. This doesn't always happen, but it's always well above what Meta can do. But they've got $161 marketing for they got $17,700 marketing, for $161. So you can imagine how powerful that would be going into a listing presentation, showing the seller inside an ad machine console of a live campaign, how the results are actually working. So that's what's going on with that. Let me just check the chat to see if there are any questions. Nope, everything's going along nicely. Perfect. Okay. Wanted to show you this campaign. Now I've got the chat in front of me. So when we do a just sold campaign, and you've just seen how agents are leveraging the ad machine. So your future clients, with 80% of Australians and Kiwis and Americans and Canadians logging into, I think it's 78%, into one of the Meta platforms daily. Our clients are all on social media. So how do we reach them with a quality just sold? I think putting something like everybody's doing just sold. So I think there's a great opportunity to change the game a little bit and make it different. And that's what this campaign has done here. So let me see if I can show you that live inside the ad machine. One sec. And I'm just going live here. So how this is working, let me show you. This is saved as a draft, I think. So and that's how the campaign actually looks. So instead of creating just one of those, again, you want to be able to create a bunch of different ads in all the different formats. So you can see how that's going into stories format or Facebook, the Square, Instagram, etc. But I like the way that it's saying, you don't need to say it's just sold. Congratulations to our sellers and buyers. It's obviously just been sold, right? And then this is Lee. He specializes in over 50s lifestyle properties on the Sunshine Coast. It's a brilliant way to profile him and what he does that goes out there into the marketing world. So that is a fabulous strategy for just sold properties. I think there's a huge amount of credibility that goes with just selling a property. Once you've sold something, you've got other sellers out there in the market who are looking to see what's going on. And one of the good things about this is that in the ad machine, we can actually see. Somebody's talking in the background here. Let me see if I can fix that. Okie dokie. So what happens is in the ad machine, we can quickly see which images are the more powerful and which images are getting the traffic. So if you're in an area, say you're on the Sunshine Coast and you're seeing these ads come up in social media and you're thinking of selling, you'll quickly identify if you've been looking at the ads and this has been saturation, you'll see which images have been getting or getting your attention. And then suddenly it comes up with a message like this and promotes the agent. So that's the key difference. And we've now got the opportunity to reach out and do this and market ourselves and our agencies and send traffic to our own agency, as I keep saying. I think that's the difference. So that's what's going on with that. Okay, so moving along, I wanted to talk about the power of a great pre-listing kit, and I would encourage everybody on the call to get some kind of pre-listing kit set up. And this is an example, and I've put this link in the show notes as well. In the show notes, not doing a podcast. I've put those in the chat so you can see what's going on there. But I would be creating something like this. Now, this has been converted into an ebook, which we do for our clients as well. And you can see it's set up as a demo for LJ Hooker in this Sydney office. And you can see how it takes them through maximizing their selling price. And this is a digital link that you can send. You're not sending a PDF. So it's something that's really easy to send. But back on the cover here, if you're using the ad machine or you're using AI-powered ads or social media, you've got a really powerful and strong point of difference that not many agents are using at the moment. That's why it's fresh and interesting, because as an agent competing, and we're all competing all the time, you're wanting to have a powerful point of difference against your market or against the other agents that are in your area, explaining how social media marketing works, that kind of thing, talking about engagement. So you can see there how this agency is getting much better percentages on the click-through rate, talk about the marketing timeline, and then obviously, unfortunately, talking about domain and REA. Obviously, we don't want them to think that we're turning our backs on that. The other good thing about a document like this is that you can embed a video, and that can play in there like that. And
welcome to 75 Castle Circuit Seaport. My name's Tim Worth from LJ Hook.
So if you can get this sort of presentation going with your seller before you walk in the front door, it's a very, very strong emotional connection. And it works so well because you're giving them, now, okay, not every seller is going to look at it, but many will, and you're giving them the opportunity to take a look at it. So it's all in your email. You might be saying, hey, I've taken the liberty of including some recent sales in the area, etc. And they're all in this document. And like I showed you before, it's just a link. There it is right there. And that delivers this whole thing. So this is the power of digital marketing. And you can talk about your target audience. They can meet Tim. They can look at recent sales in the area, meet the team, and then a closing, and then the back page. So that kind of thing, that kind of document is a really powerful way to pre-sell everything that you're doing. So far in this call today, we're only 20 minutes in, but we've talked about generating leads or generating leads from your database. We've looked at how the ad machine's working. We've looked at doing something on the pre-sale side of things. So that was that campaign there that I showed you. I guess one thing I'd like to say, sort of finally finishing this off, is that you don't really want to rely on social media as your contact base, because you're really only renting the contacts. And I've included a link here that everybody is welcome to. I'm going to paste this in the chat as well. Bang, goes here. And there we go. So if you take a look at that, I've included some information here, and I want to get into this now real quick, because this is a campaign to follow up on, and I've got a few things here, but if you go to that link, aiadmachine.com, the blog, and you'll see some email topics. Now, this is all about the power of engagement, and one of the most successful ways I know to run a real estate agency, and that the top agents use, is that they're forever building relationships, and they're getting a bigger and bigger pool of potential sellers by virtue of the fact that they're attracting these relationships and these email addresses into your world. If you rely on social media for contacts, and there again, I was using social media as a platform to drive traffic to our website, but you're really only renting those contacts. You don't own them. With an email, if your access to social media shuts down tomorrow, then you've still got your clients. Nothing's lost and nothing's changed. So what I've done here is, if you're reaching out to your database, say you've got and I know some of you on the call have got thousands of people on your database. I'm a fan of a weekly email. If you want to do it every other week, that's great. But I think a weekly email just shows the connection. But your content needs to be great. It needs to be compelling and engaging, and I think that makes a big difference. Like I said here, if you're going to the effort of emailing your contacts each week, make sure you're giving yourself the best shot with those emails open. So this starts with a subject line. So these are some of the things that you can talk about in your local area. And those of you who have had the opportunity to read my book, Digital Mayor, will know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't got a copy of the book, please reach out and let me know. I'll get you the link. But these are some of the things, some of the email topics that we've found to be very successful in engaging our database, because only 4 or 5% of people are actually buying or selling real estate at any one time. So that kind of alienates 95% of the market. So you don't want to be real estating people to death. Gavin, you work in bigger areas, but you can focus on the 2 areas, say the north of Cairns and then Brisbane as well. So you can focus on those areas and you can offer something to those people, or you can talk about general stuff in Queensland as well. It does work better, I must say, when you can target a community. So you can see here, shine a light on your favorite business, cafe, barber, florist, or gym, right? You could have a business of the month. And you've all got local contacts in your area. Make them a hero. Get a photo of you and them together and put that side by side. Oh, speaking of photos, I'll come back to this in a sec. Next time you're at your listing, getting some beautiful photos done of a brand new listing, get some shots of yourself. If you haven't already, just continually get a few shots of yourself. You're there paying for the photos anyway, so just get some shots of you. We can remove the background. You can put it in front of any of your listings. Have some fun with it. But guys, you are the brand. LJ Hooker's not the brand. Ray White's not the brand. Remax is not the brand. You're the brand. You're the one who's on the phone at at 20 after 11 trying to get an offer through at night. You're the one at 7 p.m. sitting there when you should be at your kid's basketball game doing a listing presentation. You are the brand. So I think we've got to get something back for that. I'm really big on that. So get your list of or get your library of personal images going that you can have some fun with. So I just mentioned that while I thought of it. So business of the month, number one. Number two, what's on in this weekend? So if you want to go to ChatGPT, and I've got a special little link here. Let me see if this opens up okay. Yeah, here we go. And I'm going to share this link. If you've got a free ChatGPT account, this will work as well. I feel like Santa sharing all of these goodies. There we go. All righty. Okay, so you might want to grab that link as well, because in here you can say, give me a summary of forthcoming events in my community. So if I went in here, I don't know, Perth, WA, or Brett, maybe something closer to your specific area, you can niche it down to a suburb. You can do whatever you want, but you can grab as much content here as you want. Oh, no way, the Lemonheads are playing. I know this band called the Lemonheads because they have a song called It's a Shame About Ray. But anyway, I digress. Great band. So as an example, you can see all the stuff that's going on, right? Just like local events. Noosa Heads. So you can use that link, and you're probably doing this stuff already, but I just think it's a great way to reach out and make these connections with people. And there you go. There's a lot of stuff going on. Joe Cocker Express, arts and culture, food and drink, markets. So you can do that on a regular basis. There is plenty of content out there. Okay, where am I? Back in the blog. Now, this is really good. The area's most popular schools and why parents love them. So that's worth finding out, but you can make a quick blog about that or a quick email about that. I would suggest as well in your website, and this is really easy. This is what I do here. You can see my website's admachine.com, and I'm putting all of this content in here, so it's always there. So anytime I want to send something to somebody, it's always there and it lives forever, right? I might need to come back and make sure that links and that sort of thing are updated, but that's really important. People love this. Street Smart's the most expensive street in town. The other thing that actually rates really well is what are the top crime streets in an area? And I know that sounds weird. It's a big negative, but that has a huge open rate. So again, you're community minded. You're telling people what's going on. Budget buyers, Haven, the least expensive street with the most potential. I like that. Where's the growth happening and why? I think we've got something. No, what's the market doing? I think we might have something like that in our ChatGPT as well. Let's have a look. See if that works. Give me one sec. So you've got that special link, and I think there's 4 or 5 specific questions in there. Is the market getting better or worse for sellers in the coming 6 months? So let's go. Let me pick an area. I'm going to go Wodonga, Victoria, Australia. Just pick a market and you will get some commentary. So if you want to talk about the market, I would keep that to 20% of what you're actually doing. So you can see here there's stacks of information, right? House prices reflect annual growth. Okay, 3.77%. It's a bit of information. I'd go easy with all of that. And you can see somebody here, some enterprising agent. That's interesting because ChatGPT's found her. So maybe you should be doing a video as well that you can position online. So people are going to find you, and that would probably come up in a chat or in a Google search as well. So that's definitely something that you want to be able to look at. Neighborhood vibe, do a feature. Anyway, you can check this out for yourself. Seasonal tips, what locals should be doing with their homes right now. That's actually a really popular one. And again, it's all about your headline, how you position that, or what you actually say. So, and another great way to do that is within ChatGPT. What's a compelling email headline to summarize this topic? Bang, put that in. Let's see what comes up. Here we go. Local homeowners seasonal checklist, must do maintenance before winter hits. Okay, so you pick the right time of year to do that. Cool piece of local history, right? What did I find out? David Bowie had a townhouse in Elizabeth Bay for 10 years. Found that out recently from a Sydney agent's blog. Locals doing great things. There's always kids who are doing sporting things. Everybody's looking for a voice, right? So you can do that. The other thing is you can do that and post it to your Facebook page rather than just doing. I see these Facebook pages with 10 or 20,000 followers. They do a post and they get 3 likes. So if you do something that's engaging somebody else, you'll find they'll be sharing it, especially if there's people in the story, they'll be sharing it with their market. So that's a big part of doing stuff that's a little bit different. So there's how to reignite your email list. There's a stack of information in there, the steps that I've just gone through to show you. So you can check that out if you grab this blog. And the thing I did want to show you on here, there's some power prompts. Anyway, there's a bunch of information in there. If you're interested in getting listings, there's a lot of information going on there. And also check out the videos as well. If you're interested in winning more listings, there's some cool ideas in here. It doesn't matter whether we're working together or not. There's a video there that we send in that show people how we attract more buyers, some of the things that we're doing that are going on. So whether we're working together or not. So there's just a few ideas. There's a lot happening in the listing space at the moment. I think that probably the most important thing to look at or to consider at the moment is to just start winning more and more relationships and give people the opportunity to connect with you and just grow your database and just be consistent. Just get your just solds happening, however you want to do that, and see how you can leverage your numbers, get a message out to your people. Just do that. I mean, I know it might sound like a silly email, but it works. Kind of less is more. So that's a bit of a summary as to what's going on. I'll just see if I can grab my console back here and stop my share, and I'll open this up for any questions. Anybody got any ideas? So maybe just hold a hand up, or I can see. Hey, Gavin.
Yeah, Ray, can you make all that? You've given us a heap of information.
Yep.
And after this is shut down, can we go to your website somewhere and pick up all those links and info?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll just copy it all now. Do you want to just copy it? It's as easy as going into your chat and doing all of that and copying it onto a Word doc.
Okay.
So
I'm in chat.
That's all right. Don't worry. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to you, and if anybody else would like it as well.
Yes, brilliant information. So thanks for that.
There's a lot of good stuff going on there. I'd love to tell you that they're all my ideas, but they're not. It's like, the stuff that you learn over time. Now, that's not copying and pasting for some reason. So let me find out why. No, okay, I've got issues with that. But anyway, I'll just get that to you, Gavin. Leave that to me. I'll get all of that stuff going. So, yeah, hi, Leanne. I've got the two Zoom links at the top. And let me just see if I've got something else here I can. Yep, okay. All right. I've got all of that on a link. If anybody would like that, please just email me. And my email, let me show you what my email is. It's just ray@aiadmachine.com. Okie dokie. Share. Okay. Let me grab some copy here. So it's just aiadmachine.com. So if everybody can see
at one
that.
stage you were thinking of changing your name.
To Ray.
Pretty good how it is.
RAI.
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty good how it is.
Thanks, Gavin. Thank you. Where's the chat? I'm going to put that in the chat as well. So awesome. Okay. Anybody else got any ideas, thoughts? That's just going to, why isn't that going to everybody? Okay, everyone in meeting. Bang. There we go. All righty. Let me open that up. G'day, David. 1 sec. Ask to unmute. David, you just need to unmute your microphone there somewhere on your controls. Yeah, there you go. Shoot. How you going, mate? Good morning.
Buddy, hear me, Ray?
Yes, mate. Loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. Look, just looking around the room, we all look like we've been around for quite a while, but not necessarily up to date with a lot of this social media stuff. Frankly, I used to think it was bullshit years ago, but the reality is that it's not. And the advice I'd give to you guys is just jump in head first. You won't know it all. You won't be an expert. You won't be like some of these spring chickens running around with iPhones up their ears, you know, posting shit everywhere. But just give it a go. The cost, the investment is sweet FA. It's chicken shit compared to what we spend. You know, we spend 400 to put a board up. We spend $1,000 a week to keep some junior, you know, looking at their Facebook during the day. Just get it in, boots and all. No one dies. I've got 20 years experience. I'm a commercial industrial real estate agent. I sold my business 2 years ago, and I've just got out of a sort of a period where I've been working with another company. And for various reasons, I've decided to go out alone. I'm semi-retired. I'm 73. I still got a bit of spark. And I think a lot of us guys have got a lot to offer and put us in front of most of our clients who know us. We get results. And that's all I've got to say. So just
okay. Thanks, David.
Yeah, just get into it.
It's interesting to get it from your perspective because I speak to agents, multiple agents every day, and I just see this as an amazing opportunity that I'm delighted to be involved with. The mission today was to give some basic ideas about listing, but here's a thing for my Australian clients. If you're getting vendor paid advertising and you can stretch that 10 or 20 or 30x that cost, you saw that example, $161 is the spend for 17 grand of ads, or maybe it's only 5 grand, but it's still an amazing difference on on what everybody else is doing. I don't think this opportunity is going to last forever because Facebook will bring out their own AI-powered thing. I mean, these companies have got more money than God, so they know what to do. The other thing is that the way social media can make us look like a big player when we're not, even if we're an individual, is worth the trouble alone, in my view. So I'll actually put if anybody wants to connect, I'm going to put my link in the show notes. Feel free to set up a time there. Love to have a chat. Tell you a bit more about what's going on. I just think that right now is an amazing time. I think the real estate industry is totally confused with AI. They think it's Chat GPT. They don't really know what it is. They heard a scary story on the news about it. I mean, like what David said, I'm just all in with this, and I want to help people get results. And the biggest challenge in real estate is looking different to everybody else. That's one of the hardest things. So, righto.